Get ready, folks.
I sure am. Are you ready?
I sure am.
Super excited. Oh, hello. I am so big in the screen. I have no idea why. Hello, it is Tuesday, March 15th. It is Dr. Rebecca Foster, and this is Paranormal PhD. Thank you for joining me tonight on YouTube, Facebook, and on TikTok. So, we're going to have fun tonight. And again, if you are in the StreamYard stream, which is on Facebook at /God's Reader, or at my YouTube channel, which is just search Rebecca Foster PhD. You will be able to jump in on my invite link when I decide to let people in to share some stories if they wish to do that. So earlier tonight, I was doing, I for those of you who don't know, I do a lot of TikTok readings, and I was going through and scrolling like I do, and I just kind of stopped, and my daughter said, "Can I try it?" And I said, "Sure, of course," because all of my kids have a gift. So she's constantly watching me. She's my little Twinkie. She wants to be just like me. So I said, "Oh, sure." So I let her test it out, and I, of course, on TikTok you can record and then you are able to put it out there. So I was able to kind of decide ahead of time if it was something to actually share. I think she did pretty well. I was able to see what she was seeing and make sense of it for this individual, whom was able to give a little bit of feedback. Now, mind you, she's 8 years old, and she's developing a gift. And so she did a couple, and now she's like, "Oh my gosh, I want to do more." I thought, you need to slow down there, Jasper. it's we're going to talk about that actually more next week when on this show Tuesday nights, the Paranormal PhD. We're going to talk about children and psychic abilities, maybe touch on animals. I've already talked about animals, but we're also going to touch on children too. So if you know children with psychic abilities, have them join the show or watch, because I may have my kids on to share some of their quick experiences and so forth. So then also I'm going to do some readings while I'm here tonight. And on TikTok, for those of you, if you're in the chat room and you have any form of questions, just simply, Ashley is on there, A. Dugas. She's one of my moderators, and she can answer any questions for you. And you know what? I see a lot of people, Kathy, Mary Grace Kirby. I see a lot of people that are Brenda Cromry. If you have questions, Viv Garrett, or Facebook things, if you have, and you pose them and I do not see them, they will be more than happy to answer questions as well. And so last week I had different internet and it was absolutely atrocious. So please throw me a comment if anything starts to glitch or break up. That would be great. Okay, so again, readings, like, how do you do it? How do you start doing it? How do you develop it? Now, for those of you who are serious about that question, I offer members only, which is every Monday I do a 1-hour video that helps people who are serious about developing that gift to be able to learn the basics and start off where they need to start off to do this, so that you are really doing it the right way with God behind you and maybe not something else. It's super inexpensive. It's $50 for the entire year. You get 52 weeks of lessons, an hour long, maybe a little bit under that, depending on what the lesson is. But it's 52 weeks of lessons. And on top of that, you get discounts for personal readings as well. And hopefully that kind of levels off and you start not needing confirmation readings after that. But I do that. So this is just going to be fun tonight to help people to point out what may be going on in their world and how they are already attuned to spirit and those little tiny things that happen, just recognizing them, going, oh my gosh, I'm already doing that. I do that. That is a confirmation. And it's wonderful to realize what you're already doing in your world and in what's going on. And so again, I'm going to just do a little talking. I'm going to open the floor up, and then you guys can, if you want, jump in, share an experience, because your experience may really resonate with someone else, and that would be fabulous. So for me, some of you already know, but I've done this all of my life. The last memory of, well, the first memory of being able to do this was about 4 years old. And I did not actually start using it to benefit other people until I was 13. And at that point, I wasn't just reading people, I was using tarot cards at the time. And that is my story. I do not condone going and getting tarot cards. It's each and every person. It's their own lesson. It's their own conversation with God. I'm not going to say don't do it. Don't, whatever. It's your story. But I personally, no, never, never, never would I ever. It's like an Ouija board. You'll never catch me touching them ever. But it's to each their own story. And my story was, being raised around God and around church. You have a basic knowledge of spirit, but that doesn't mean you are gifted. It doesn't mean that you're going to be a good Christian or a good person just because you go to church, because I know plenty of a-holes that go to church every Sunday, and I think, you sure, you don't practice what you preach. And so it's, again, between you and God and nobody else. That's it. So I don't go off on my little crazy choo-choo train. I'm going to stay on target here. Okay, so it starts off a lot of times for people when they're little, and then the parents go, that's not real. That's not true. That's not possible. And kids completely, oh yeah, and they blow it off. And then they lose that connection. So at some point, something may happen in a person's life, something tragic, an illness, an accident, something may call that person back just enough to where they touch that white light and get pulled back, or they touch spirit and get pulled back, and it helps lift the veil enough so that you're able to go, wait a second, I'm feeling all these crazy things. I'm hearing things. I'm experiencing things. And lo and behold, it's actually coming true, or it makes sense, or it's happening right before my eyes. And people they don't put two and two together. So when I was 4 years old, that's strange too, because when I was 4, my grandfather's dog was blind and deaf, and I was stepping over him. He was a bulldog. And when I stepped over him, I fell, and he turned and he bit me in the face. So now that I'm older, you can actually see it, but I've got a tooth mark that goes down my face, and then here along my laugh line, it hides in my laugh line. But I had this huge dog bite, and then my whole face swelled up, and it was like hanging down here, and I went blind from the infection. And they were able to clear that up. But my father was like, you went blind, you were almost dead, the infection, because they couldn't do stitches and da-da-da-da. So that's about when I started getting this gift, or remembering it. So that you may, and also, you know what, being born, you may not want to, have wanted to be here. You may have not been breathing. You may have been hard to conceive. There may have been something that happened when you were little that you don't remember, and maybe chicken pox or a fever, and you don't realize how close to death you were, but they bring you back enough to be able to remind you of who you are spiritually. I'm the first girl born into my father's side of the family since the 1600s. All of them died. I was the first female born into their side of the family. So I always thought, that's interesting, why? And I thought that was pretty cool. That's a neat little piece. Now, after me and my father's side of the family, my brothers and everybody, they both have daughters. So it kind of broke that chain, but there's that. And when I was born, my father said I wouldn't breathe, and they held me upside down and they were poking my feet with pins over and over and over again to get me to breathe. And finally I screamed, but he's like, it took forever. You wouldn't breathe. So I was really defiant. I'm like, I don't want to be here again. So you may have a story like that. Ask your family, ask your parents, how did I start out? How did it go? All right, so there's that. How about when you're thinking of someone and then you're like, oh my God, and they call and the phone rings and it's them? Okay, that's another connection. You're connecting to people. You ask a question out loud and all of a sudden you look down and there's a penny. That is a connection with your spirit guides. It is, twins will say that they feel something wrong with their twin, that spiritual energy connection that we have with people. And then they find out that they were in an accident or something happened, or you get a really bad feeling, or you're awoken in the middle of the night and you come to find out the phone rings and something. These are all these crazy little connections that we all have that are legit, real, that people blow off as coincidence. Nothing in this world is a coincidence. Not a zip zilch. Nothing is a coincidence. Nothing. It all happens exactly the way it should, when it should. And I've had bad things happen and I'm like, well, there's no such thing as a coincidence. So, somebody's lying. And so that's another part of it, is when you realize, wait a second. You know that meme of that woman and she's like, and the math is going off up here and back and forth. And she's like looking around going, wait a second. That is you finally realizing your guides are showing you something and you're going, holy crap. Oh, I get. They will give you visuals. They will talk to you. They will share things with you. And they mimic our voice so well that we go, is that me thinking that? Am I making that up? Am I coming up with that? And the one way you can teach yourself is, if you're talking to your guides or not, is can you move your mouth to what you're hearing? That's how I trained myself too, to understand that was them and not me. Is the things I would hear, I would go, can I say that while I'm hearing it? No. Would I say that? No, I would never. How do I know that? That kind of a thing. And so that is discernment, and it is questioning things, critically looking at what you are hearing and seeing. And if you're sitting, this is great. Okay. You're sitting there with your friend and you're having coffee, and all of a sudden you hear something like, ask her about her mother. And you're like, well, that's weird. Why would I ask her about her mother? How's your mom doing? Oh my God, she fell down the stairs. Holy shit, right there. Like, your guides are going to give you little things like that, little tiny things. And then you're going, wait, I just heard that. That was right. So the next time you hear something through that same pinpoint, you're going to remember it. You'll also know when you hear something and it's wrong, and you'll go, disconnect, don't listen to that. And it's really, really, it's when you encounter, okay, so someone's asking on TikTok, hair den stylist, sorry. When you feel something off about someone, trust that. Because put it this way, we are energy. We have auras, okay? When we meet people, we extend our energy to that person and we feel them out. We're like little ants. We sniff their energy, we smell it, we get a vibe on them, and then we go, I don't like this person very much. What are they putting off? Now, what you have to understand here is this. Because sometimes people will protect themselves. I mean, I've had conversations with people. I'm like, I thought you were a bitch when I first met you. And now I got to know you. I'm like, you're pretty cool. Because when a person first meets someone, they may be terrified and they may be nervous and scared. So they walk in and they're like noses in the air and they're all about that. And they strut in and you're like, what the hell? What's this air that they're putting on? And then come to find out that a superficial energy they were putting off was totally wrong. But because we only sniff that superficial exterior, we feel around the exterior, the only thing we pick up on them is conceited, stuck up, don't want to talk to them. What are they, bitchy. And when you give people and you peel back that energy and you look and you go, oh, well, you're actually funny. You're not what you seemed to be when I first met you. And so that's what you all have to understand. If you're nervous and you walk into a room, you're going to put off an air. How many times? Okay, I am the mom at the school functions where all the other moms are like this. Never. Am I ever included in a mom group? Never. I've never once been in a mommy clicky group. Ever. Never invited in. Maybe I put off the air that it's like, I don't want to be in your group. I'm not like that. I don't make people feel uncomfortable. I would rather invite people in. I'd rather form my own geek club of moms than be in that mean girls group. And so what you have to understand is it's not truly that people are mean, but they put off an air because they're so scared. So the original message for the hair den stylist was that weird feeling you get when it comes to people and you're in a safe situation and you have a chance to actually dig deeper, you may find they really are shit. They're just not nice. They're not nice. But you took the time to go past the superficiality that they were putting off. Whereas if you meet someone and they're really nice and they're super kind and you're feeling their energy and they're going, whoa, I get a creepy vibe, like a weird vibe from this person. Trust that because your energy is feeling what it already knows and recognizes because this isn't your first time around. Like you've been to the circus before. This is not most likely your first life and you've met hundreds of people. And so when your energy touches them and you get a creepy vibe, you just be like, you know what? It was so nice to meet you. Thanks. And get away. And don't let them give you a ride home and don't let them walk you to your apartment or your car. You trust your instincts because they're usually correct. So it's getting past the original energy. It's the first energy because what people put off may not be it. They may be funny as hell. And you're like, oh my gosh, this is so funny. And you don't look past the funny. And on the inside, they're dying and crying. Okay. And they are suffering. And when nobody else is around, they're just driving down the street, crying their eyes out, depressed and sad. So you just have to get past that. And it's like, whatever a person puts off, it may not be the case. The internet, social media. Most of the time you see these amazing lavish lifestyles and these women look beautiful all of the time and they've got these amazing cars and their life is all together. That I can guarantee is not real. And then you find out later there's so many that come out that all of a sudden one I just read about, she was like a huge famous social media star and she was murdered by her boyfriend and every video she ever did was with him and they were fabulous on videos but apparently he was beating the hell out of her. You cannot. And you know what I always tell people, don't try to be like someone else because for all you know they're trying to be like you or like someone else or you know what I'm saying, don't try to be like someone because for all you know they're trying to be someone else too. Just be you. Just be you and be your crazy, wacky self. Do you know how many times? Look at my videos. Y'all have seen me at my worst. Okay, TikTok, you especially, you have seen me at my worst because I get on and I'm like right out of the shower, no makeup. I have my shirts inside out. I don't care. And if people have a problem with it, just keep on scrolling. Okay, so the thing y'all do that you don't realize you're doing, you get your guides will send you pennies, feathers, and dimes. They will let you know that they are there with that. They will send you repetitious numbers 11, 11, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4, 4, 4, 5, 5, 5, 8, 1, 9, 3, 1, 2, whatever it is. And they will send you these. So they're like, is she paying attention? Do it again. Give her a license plate with the 444 on it, please. Oh, there goes that number again. Wow, there's another 44. That's true. Look it up. If you see it twice in a day, look it up. It's the really coolest thing. Dimes all day long. I'm telling you, your guides will throw you things to let you know, yes, that is true. It is absolutely true. What you're thinking right now, what you're talking about from us, it is for sure. Here's a penny. Here's a dime. Throw her a cracker. It's that kind of a thing. So being yourself is so important. All right. So I'm going to share the link here for this for anybody who is on Facebook or on YouTube. I can't get it out. And if you guys want to get in and share some of your personal experiences that you have had where you have heard something or felt something and then had it actually come to manifest, and you're like, holy cow, look what I'm doing, look what I just thought or did. Even like birds, animals that do strange things, birds out of nowhere, um, pennies, I'm sorry, butterflies. Um, they'll do strange things. It's really, really, really cool. I know. I wish my guides would leave me a 20. But you know what's so cool? When you start listening to your guides, my kids are witness to this. My kids are a witness to this. When we go shopping, we always get a first front parking lot space. Always. Every time. We pull in, I'm like, well, thank you very much. And they're like, thanks, guides. And they will, thank you, angels, because they give us, when you believe in them, when you have these amazing relationships. I'm going to tell y'all something freaking funny. Now, my guides, they are very funny. They're comedic. I love them to death. They one morning, my kids, I think if you've heard this story, then just plug your ears. But I woke up one morning, I was trying to get 4 of them ready for school, and they were slow, and they had this habit of turning the TV on in the morning before school, and then they'd get caught up watching something and then lag, and it was winter, and boots, hats, gloves, all that garbage. So I said, no TV today. I will turn on the radio. And I'd already think I had a conniption fit for about 10 minutes trying to get everybody down the stairs and breakfast. So I turn on the radio. And as I turn on the radio, I had walked over. I'm like, just shut up and eat your breakfast. We have no time for your screwing around. I turn on the radio and it is DMX, and it's "Y'all gonna make me lose my mind" up in here. And I stopped and went, that is not even funny. You're making fun of me right now? And then they checked me. That's all they did. They basically were making fun of me for yelling at my kids before school and ruining their day because they couldn't get their acts together. So they do that. And it's so cool. And how many times you turn on a radio, and if you pay attention, if you listen, they totally will play the songs that answer your questions. I got in my car one time, and I've got people on here. Okay, I got in my car one time, and I was having a bad day, and I was like, God, I'm just going to give up. I don't know what you want from me anymore. I'm exhausted. I can't do it. I think I was even crying, and I got in the car, and I was running for something that I just had come up with having to run for. And my kids had, I don't know who made it, but it was like a pottery rainbow with clouds on it, and it was made out of the clouds were pottery, and then the rainbow was all pipe cleaners, and I had it sitting on my dash. And I turn on the radio and I back out of my car, and as I do this and turn, the rainbow goes flying over and stops in front of me, and the song is "I Promise." And I promise that I will do right things to say. I know I don't plan to give. I don't even know the words. And I was like, I sat there and I listened and I went, and it was like, but if you wait around a while, I promise you, I promise you. And if you listen to the songs, it talks about bearing a cross. And I bawled, and then I cried all the way to the store. And then I went and got my promise tattoo with my little heart. You can't even see it, but it's here. And your guides will step in when you need it if you're listening to them. They're freaking amazing. Listen to that song. It's called "I Promise." I don't know if somebody can look up the lyrics and post it. It's really great. Okay, so I'm going to let Darcy in here. So Darcy is going to share a story. I think we're going to let you in. Let me make sure your mic is on, Darcy. Perfect. Hi, Darcy. How are you?
Hi there. I'm not sure I have a story.
Okay, let me turn this up here. I'm sorry. Okay, go ahead.
I'm not sure I really have a story. I think I have a lot of experiences where things just happen, and the way you describe.
Okay.
You know, I'm a 60-year-old woman, and I think it's been happening my whole life.
Okay.
I don't know if other people experience that unless there's somebody who has the same experiences. You're misunderstood.
Correct. Yes.
And I feel like
lots of misunderstanding.
Yeah, there's a huge amount of misunderstanding. And for me, it continues on into my, I feel like I'm, just shy of being elderly here. And, I don't have relationships with my family members because, you know, they see me as incredibly unconventional when I'm not sure that's true. I almost feel like they're out of touch. And I guess if I was going to ask for help with all of this from the community, it's kind of how do we bridge this gap between those of us who seem to have experiences where we know things
Mm-hmm.
in advance or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
um I had one many years ago when my dad died where his watch. You can't hear me?
I can hear you. Somebody on TikTok was asking if they could hear. Yeah, that's the only thing, you guys on TikTok, you can't hear her. You know what? I'll take off this while she's talking. Okay, go ahead and
I
talk.
had this experience when my dad died, and we all went to his place where he lived, and I was very frantic, needing to hold something,
Uh-huh.
and people kept handing me things. And finally, my brother handed me this pocket watch, and he said, "It's perfect because it's dead too." Right? So he hands me this broken pocket watch, which is the exact thing I needed. I held it in my hand. And I'm going to say, I don't know. I had gone home. I had put the pocket watch on my pillow with me. And I kept waking up with that grief stricken feeling because I was going to miss my dad. I went to pick up the watch and it started to work. And I felt like,
Wow.
right. And I felt like in that moment, um, he was telling me so many things, but one was definitely that he's okay and I'm okay.
Yep. I love that.
Yeah. And uh, you know, it's always worked since, and we're talking 30 years have gone by. And
I
it was,
love that.
well, yeah, I mean, we're all shaking it and whatever, but to me, holding it in my hand was the most important thing.
Mm-hmm.
And he gave me that sign. But I can tell you, every single person in my immediate family thinks it's just, you know, fictitious.
Mm-hmm.
Not that the watch started working, but that there was no message.
There are some people that just you can't convince. It's there's people that don't believe it. They're angry at God, or they believe that they're just all powerful genies and make everything wonderful happen in their own lives. I don't know what their cases are. I don't know how people go through like that, living their life that way. That's, I guess, again, between them and God. And all you can do is live to the best of your ability, doing everything and sharing everything that is given to you, so then people are able to witness that and go, wait, I just saw what happened, or I just experienced that. And they can make up their own minds. People are smart enough to make up their own minds about something. You don't have to force feed them religion or experiences or anything. It's really truly up to them to
I
see
find
something and go,
myself keeping it to myself more and more, that this is so personal now, mostly because, I mean, I don't do what you're doing. I'm not out there. I mean, I do read the tarot, which some
mhm.
people don't do or
it's
do
it's
not. It's a
it's
very
everybody has to do their own thing.
right. It's a very spiritual thing for me.
Yep.
To draw a card and get a sense of how that may apply to me, the meaning of
Right.
that card, and that can be very helpful. A lot of times, it's to soothe myself from feeling a little bit like an outsider. I don't know if you feel that, um, I have friends, so it's not that, and I have children, I have a family, I have a life, but there is always this sense that I don't quite fit in because people don't want to accept what makes me different. And I really feel like I'm not really different than anyone else. I'm just more in touch with a thing that they're not yet in touch with.
Well, just imagine if everything were black and white. So just consider yourself the glitter. Just think of yourself as the glitter. And when you're somewhere, you're sparkling your personal glitter everywhere else. And you know what? Some people think glitter is annoying as hell.
Yeah, they do.
But how many people? I see a lady at the Reese store down the street, and she sprinkles glitter in her hair every single day, and she is sparkly. Okay. So some people like it, some people don't. It's not your place to decide if or to make people like glitter. And so you just go be glitter. That's all. Thanks
Right.
so much, Darcy, for sharing your story.
It was easy to share with you.
Awesome. Well, stick around and keep watching.
I will.
Take care. And I'm glad your dad said hi to you with a watch. I think
Oh,
that's
it was so good. It was so good.
better. Take care. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, that was awesome. I love that. Just, mechanics, doctors, they all have their knowledge, they all have, their training, but truly God is the one who knows it all. Okay, so I've got Eliza here. Eliza, oh, those are some pretty birds. Yes, I'm going to get to some readings in a moment. So, Eliza, is that how I say your name, Eliza?
Yes, that is.
Perfect. Let us know what's going on with you. What's your story?
So I, whenever I was really young, my dad worked out of town and his girlfriend was going to go pick him up. I was
Mm-hmm.
probably 7 or 8, and my mom didn't want me to go because it was going to take forever and it would have been really late. And I was like, no,
Mm-hmm.
mom, I have to go with Pat. I have to go with her.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom has always been one to always go with her gut instinct. She
Okay.
has been very spiritual, and she did read tarot her whole life, and she carried a lot of things that she saw, like that people have no right to know, with her.
Okay. Okay.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
so she knew that something was up. So I went with Pat, and we were probably maybe 45 minutes away from where we picked my dad up.
Mm-hmm.
And she started to cough. She couldn't breathe. She was having a hard time breathing. Um,
Mm.
so she put her hand down. Her head was down the whole way. And I just kept thinking, like, I just kept praying and, hoping
Yeah.
that we would make it there. So I was like, you need to pull over. So I went and I knocked on a garage. There was nobody in there, even though all the lights were on. Well, we made it to where my dad was. They weren't there yet. And I was like, I have to go get help. I picked the
Mm-hmm.
right
And you're
house
7.
out
Oh
of,
my gosh.
I'm 7. And I
Oh,
picked the right
terrifying.
house. It was like midnight. I picked the right house out of there was 3 houses around. And the person that I went to her house, she was an EMT. And she went, and because we were there and I was able to get help fast enough, they were able to get her to Pittsburgh Hospital, where she ended up having a quadruple bypass because she was having heart
Oh my
failure.
gosh. Okay.
Yep. And just
Wow.
recently, I lost my mom like 6 days, maybe 5 days ago.
Oh,
And
you just 5 days ago you lost your mom?
yeah, very
Oh,
fast too.
I'm so sorry.
Um,
Oh my
and
gosh.
I felt her, I couldn't get to sleep. And I felt her hand go across my forehead. I just knew it was her. And I just fell right asleep. And I haven't been sleeping very well, just still trying to process everything. And I knew that was my mom, and
Oh my
but
gosh. Is
she's always been very, follow your heart. She always told me that I was an empath because if I get around somebody and I can like feel their moods and stuff sometimes, and
Yes.
it really
Mhm.
drains me very, very badly.
I was just gonna say that you've got to protect yourself.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yep. And it's crazy, if you just trust in yourself and your own personal feeling, and it's crazy the amount of
Mhm.
things that you were awoken to and
Yes.
enlightened to, it makes you
Exactly.
view the world in a whole different way.
You're exactly right. Is there like an Angela around you or an Angie around her that was around her at some point? Angela?
My
Angie?
my mom,
Yeah.
she knew a couple of people. She knew an Angie. Yeah. I think we had a family friend who name was Angie. She knew my grandfather very well.
Do you know if she had cancer or breast cancer? Do you know? Do you remember?
One of my mom's best friends, and okay, yeah, one of my mom's best friends, Angie, she did have breast cancer, and she passed away from it.
Okay, so she's with her. She's pointing out that the pink all over her and that they're together. So she's good. She's okay.
Thank
And
you.
you're welcome. I'm so sorry for your loss. But they're together, and your mom's very loud. Like her laugh is very loud. But she just looks very she's like got her arm around her, and she's like ha, and she's like laughing, and she's just I think overjoyed or excited.
She was really sick for years and years. In this last couple years, she couldn't do much of anything, and she kind of spent a lot of time homebound. So I can see her finally being able to,
out and about and doing. Yes, there is no death. We really do go on to just shed this skin, and we see people, and I'm so glad that she came through to just let you know that she's okay and she's happy. And you have a daughter?
I have a son. I just had a son.
You just had a son? You're gonna have a daughter too, just so you know. And it's funny because she calls her like somebody that's you've known in a previous life, and she's talking about it almost sounded like she called her Mabel or Lily or something, and it looked like two names put together. And so she's an old soul as well, but you have your little boy, but she says you're going to have a daughter as well very quickly. And you're like, oh my gosh. Well, she'll help pass her down.
Whenever I found out that I was pregnant with my boy, she was like, "Aw, it's a girl, not the girl that I wanted." She's like, "Boys don't have any cute clothes, but."
Well, you're going to have that little girl. I'm sure she's going to find one regardless and throw her down to you. Well, thank you so much, Eliza, for checking in here and letting us know your story again. I'm so sorry for your loss, but at least you know that she's there and she's looking out for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. God bless. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
That was awesome. I love that. That was fabulous. All right. My computer is acting glitchy here. So let's get to some readings, shall we? All right. Someone had asked earlier how you can be more mindful of your messages from your guides. And truly, all it comes down to is trust. It comes down to trusting them. Have you ever done something and then changed your plan at the last minute and went, oh, I should have just done what I was going to do because this ended up badly? Or if you've gone A, B, A, B, I'm going to go take B. But it gets done and it's A. I knew it was A. I knew it and I changed it at the last minute. Go with what you hear the first time, because usually your guides will give you the answer and then your brain, your ego will go, no, and you will change it. And excuse me, those little tiny things that they give you helps you to trust them. If you hear something and you knew you were right the first time and you switched it, that is them trying to gain your trust. And the more you listen to them, the more they will give you, the bigger they will give you. One thing that I thought was really neat, this is a really cool way of kind of building up and testing your abilities and listening to your guides, is watch shows like 48 Hours and things that have a conclusion to them. Watch things where there are true stories with people involved and get the basic in the beginning. And then kind of sit back and pause it for a moment and think, okay, what am I picking up here? What am I seeing? What am I feeling? What am I hearing? And take a few notes. Am I seeing a color? Do I see a type of vehicle? Do I see a murder weapon? Look at things that are true stories. And usually 48 Hours, they're dealing with cases of kidnapping or they're grim, but it gives you a situation where your guides will help confirm it. You're not talking to them. You're not asking anybody questions. You are relying on your guides to give you some information. Test yourself with other people. Sit down with someone and have them write down a color on a piece of paper and then really focus, have them, and I play games like this with my kids. We'll be waiting for our food at the restaurant, and we'll play an animal game. And I'll say, okay, I'm thinking of an animal with the letter C, and I will envision it, and I will grab that picture, and I will throw it up in the middle of the table, and I'll say, there's the picture, and I will project that picture, and they will sit there. Seriously, they will sit there, and there's children at other tables, and they're all looking at, like, what are they doing? What are they looking at? And they're laughing, like kids I don't even know. Their parents are on their phones, and these kids at other tables are like, I want to play too. I want to know what you're looking at. And my kids will sit there and go, oh, it's a cougar or it's a donkey. And so that's another way, is a visual energy, where you can just sit around with people and trust, and ask them to throw a visual out there. And then maybe it's a color, or start simple and you have a hint. It's an animal, it's an insect. And really try to get a picture of what they're, and don't, they're not going to tell you what it is, of course not, until, but it's conversations with energy, and you're putting your energy out there, like, woo, like Twilight, like she like throws her energy and protection around everybody. You're doing that. You're projecting your energy out there in the visual. Practice it and trust your guides. Trust them. Okay, let's get some readings in here, shall we? We've got some few minutes. So yeah. Okay. Also, what Eliza was saying, and also with Darcy being empathic and so forth, you want to make sure that when you get dressed in the morning, you get your clothes on, you brush your teeth, you put on your little energy protective suit. And this is funny now, y'all, okay? You have that one person, okay? You have that one person that if they call or come over, you're stuck for several hours listening to them whine and gripe about themselves. And by the time they're done, you've melted into a complete ball of mush with a headache, and you're exhausted because they are energy vampires. They're emotional vampires. They suck the life out of you. You know what? Oh, I'm not answering the call, or I'm not answering the door. You have to really judge. Do I have the energy to deal with this person right now? I got things to do. I can't do this. If you don't have someone like that in your life that calls you and bugs you, or who drains the hell out of you when they call, it's probably you. You are that person. You are the energy vampire. It's you. So check yourself too. Make sure that when you are telling people things, that you have a protective suit up. And then be cognizant of, am I talking too much? Did we just have this conversation yesterday? Am I going to give them a chance to speak? Okay, make sure you reciprocate your conversations so you don't drain people. Okay, let's grab a people here. All right. Andrea Emmons on Facebook. Okay, so for you, Andrea, I hate that I never know that. It's Andrea. I can tell you that you actually, you've got two things. One, you are connected spiritually. I think you're already aware of that. And because of that, you're probably receiving a lot of signs and symbols from the other side. Pay attention to it. There's not a person here that doesn't have a soul. There's a couple, but most of us have a soul. So everybody here can do this. Okay. The thing is that you also are aware of this. So there's an awakening already happening within you, to make sure you're being aware of it. But they show you standing on a bridge, and I'm actually weirdly standing behind you. I'm never standing on a bridge with someone, but I am standing behind you, and you have like you're fly fishing, and you're throwing it out, you're throwing it and you're pulling it and throwing it and pulling it and throwing it. So I don't see anything in the water. I don't see any fish. I see nothing. But being on a bridge, especially halfway across, means that you are on your way, in progress of moving out of something that was already a comfortable habit, a life, and you have made your way halfway across this bridge towards the unknown. And this is also very awesome, because it means you're progressing in a way that you may be shedding the old skin right now. And it's not easy and it's not comfortable, but you're doing it. And the fact that you're fly fishing, I'm going to tell you right now, you're not going to be handed anything right now. You're getting no gifts. There's no fish in the water. You're waiting for it. You're waiting for something to show up that's going to help you get across this bridge, and you're not going to get it. You just have to put the fishing pole down, and cross the bridge. And it almost feels like a new identification as to who you see yourself as, finally identifying as who you are. And I don't want to call it a midlife crisis, but it feels like it's an awakening to the point of not only spiritually, but as to who you are and why you're even here, and how you're going to fulfill those things and those purposes as who you are on this planet. So the earthly aspect of who you are is also going to change. There's nothing better than that. It's terrifying, but it's awesome. I love it. Okay. So let's see here. Let's see. So Angela Smith, 1969. Okay. Smells like, what is that? White cake. You smell like a white cake. You know that vanilla white flavor smell? That's what you smell like. And in front of you are, there's one, two, there's four, and they're about this big, like white cake looking things. They, at least they smell like it. Maybe they're stones, but it smells like white cake. First of all, the smell is heavenly. The smell is something that you have been asking for. You're about to get. You are about to get an answer and a solution to something you have been wanting a long time. The only thing is you are going to be, there's the 4. Okay, so we've got April coming up. Also the 4th of the month, 4 days from now. So soon, very soon. But they are stepping stones. You're going from one movement to the next on stepping stones. So that means that the progress you make, you're not going to go straight from A to F. You're going to go A, you're going to go B, C, D, E, F. That's what you're going to do. Or how many steps? There's 4 steps. Whatever the letters are. Okay, I'm really bad at math. But anyway, you're not just going to go boop, boop. You have these little stepping stones, which means you may be entering something right now that is not so much what you exactly want it to be, but it is going to be a small step working in the direction of getting across. And the fact that that smells so heavenly means that you have spiritual guidance actively happening that you've been asking for. So all you need to do is just watch for those, just watch for those little signs and those confirmations. One thing you can do is you can say like, hey guides, this is what I'm doing. And don't state it as a question, state it as a statement. Oh my gosh, this is what I'm doing today, and blah, blah, blah. And if you get the chills, that is also another way your guides will give you a confirmation, a big fat screaming yes, 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 yes. If you get the chills, a deja vu. If you're unsure of something, if you're not sure what to do I keep doing what I'm doing or do I switch it up? And all of a sudden you're in the middle of eating a box of Girl Scout cookies and you get a deja vu and you're like, oh, I just had a deja vu. That means you're exactly where you're meant to be. You're exactly in line with the contract you wrote with God as to where you're going and what you're doing. And usually it's to keep doing what you're doing. Now, I would take that deja vu and then I would say, okay, guides, guide me a little bit more, give me some more signs so I can be sure I'm not living my will. I'm not forcing my will on the situation. And I would then watch for something numerical. And when I'm at the point where I'm like, forget it, I'm done, I'm changing this up, I don't care anymore, I'm fixing this, I will get 4s all day long. 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. And they're like, Rebecca, please do not start acting up. Continue doing what you're doing. Don't change anything. Stop being defiant. Fine. It really does put me back like, okay, I'll stop. Foot's off the gas pedal. I'll just sit here at the gas light. I will listen. And so know that if I'm going one way, I do not change it at the last minute. I usually get a ticket. So I do not switch where I'm going. Pay attention to them. They will talk to you all day long. Is this this is not like jiving up on you guys, is it online? I hope not. Okay. Also, let's see here. You guys you're so many comments. I love it. Heather J, am I teaching my daughter-in-law incorrectly? She needs to know these things so she can teach my grandbabies. You know what? I don't think there's really no way we can teach someone the incorrect way. If you're doing if every day you are doing something, and when you go, God, just let me do what you want me to do. Let me, you know what? Where is it? Where was that? Hmm, I forget where I read it. Um, if you're basically taking all of your will and throwing it out the window and saying, God, I just want to do what you want me to do today, whatever it is, I'll do it, because I always screw things up, which I do, because I am a very strong willed personality, and I'm very impatient. So I have just learned that I don't try to force anything, I just let God do it. So when it comes to your daily actions, one thing he always says that I was personally told is always do your best to the best of your ability. And you cannot go wrong, Rebecca. And I went, I can do that. I know if I'm doing my best and I know if I'm doing my least. So I know I can do my best. So that's what I do. So when I am doing my readings or I'm doing any work, if I'm tired or exhausted, I know I may misinterpret or misunderstand. So I'll take a break. If I get full of energy, I'll read. It just comes down to trust. So if you're teaching somebody something that you know spiritually, as far as gifts go, and you're doing it in the best light possible to the best of your ability, I don't see what's wrong with that. I don't see anything wrong with that. And being able to trust a child, because you say teaching your grandbabies, trusting a child, to be honest, my boys upstairs, they can read too. But if I say, hey guys, want to come read some people? They'd be like, no, no way. My daughter will jump at it, but my children will. And you just have to trust whatever they want to do. It may not be the right timing. Um, if they come to you and say they see someone or see something, really, what do you see? Who do you see? What are they saying? Let them share that experience, because once that door's open, you can keep it open. With children, you can keep it open as long as you help them feed it properly, making sure that they're protecting themselves and understand God and their connection to God, and that children are not stupid and they too will see dark things. So if you say to them, what are you seeing? And they tell you, they say a boogeyman, really, where's he at? It might be terrifying as hell, but what's it doing? Where's it at? And ask, get some clarification from them, because if they're doing good work, they're going under attack too. I just put that on TikTok. That's my biggest worry with my daughter, is she can do it, but I don't want her to do it crazy like I'm doing it, because I don't want her at such a young age to be under attack by the darker energies. I do have one person sitting here. Angie, did you want to share something? I'm going to put you on here, Angie. Here we go. I'm going to let Angie talk here real quick. Hi, how are you?
Hi.
Yeah, I caught you doing dishes. What
Yes,
do
I
you have
got
going on?
goosebumps. Nothing. I don't know
Do
why,
tell,
but I
do
got
tell.
goosebumps. Yes, I don't know. I don't know why I could share. There's like recently I've been like seeing a lot of numbers, repetitive numbers, from
Yeah.
a while till now. Also about when was it? Last year, 2020, I
Mm-hmm.
got a reading from Corinne, and meeting Corinne, and she told me that by this year or by this time, I will be knowing, for example, with my babies, I have lost many pregnancies, and
Okay.
recently it was my twins, and I think up till now it's something that I have like I have felt that it's it was either them or myself. So I don't know, like even now my husband is like, I want to get pregnant, but then I'm like, no, I don't want to get pregnant because I feel like it was going to be in vain. I feel like, um, more than anything, because it was going to be at a point that it was life threatening for myself. So my babies were completely fine. And right now I think I guess I'm trying to find myself. I have found myself. I've lost a lot of weight. I've like done stuff that I don't know if that has to do with the numbers. I don't know if that
What
has to
numbers are
do
you
with
seeing?
everything that the 333, the 444, the 555, the 111.
Okay. They're
A
barraging
lot of
you.
numbers. Yes, yes. Like it's every day, all the time. I'll see it like at a billboard. I'll see it at the time. Like now that the time changed, like out of a sudden I'll turn around and like even this afternoon I was like just sitting down here on the sofa, and my receiver, it said 111, but then I looked again and it was two. I was like, I'm sure it said 111. Like I know I saw 111. Like there was no way that I saw like the other a line for the two. Like I saw the 111, but then all of a sudden I turned again and it was a two. And I was like, oh my God, like I haven't even changed the time on the receiver. Like I don't
Right.
know. Like there's stuff that have been going on that I don't like. I don't know if it has to do with all of this.
Well, no, you know what? I think with everything that you've gone through, that's a massive heartache. And so much as a mother, when you're pregnant, you are sharing your energy with your children. And regardless of the loss, if it is by, just a loss itself, regardless
Mm-hmm.
if it's by choice or not, it doesn't matter. They take their energy, that little bit that you gave them, they take it with, and it becomes not only like a physical loss literally, but spiritually it is too, because that energy is ripped from what you are so used to feeling as a mother. And so
Yes.
that there's a huge aspect of healing there. But with the numbers, that's amazing. So the threes are so important throughout time. You're talking about the triangle, you're talking about Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. You're talking about look up three. I mean, three is an amazing, not only spiritual, celestial number, but it is also very extraterrestrial as well. And
Mm-hmm.
dimension. I mean, it's a number saying we're with you. We are with you. You're not alone. So then the
Mm-hmm.
fours say, keep going, keep on doing. You're about to, if you continue doing what you're doing, you are going to manifest success. And then the fives
Yeah.
say that your longtime dream is about to manifest and come to you. What you're doing with these, if you continue to do what you're doing now, you will manifest that success. So take it as a sign that they're saying, don't stop, just keep on doing what you're doing. Do not think that you should stop or stall. Now, when you were talking before, I did see a little boy. So, if that's the case, there is a little boy that's probably going to try to come down to you. Um,
Okay.
I
And
see
recently I've been having problems with my husband, like badly.
with him wanting more kids.
No, with us, with a relationship.
So that might be why the twins, people don't understand. You might be in a relationship with someone for 20 years and try to conceive and never conceive, or have loss after loss. You get a divorce, get married, and bam, you're pregnant. It's just you weren't supposed to have kids with that person.
Yes.
But
No, yes,
in
that's
this
what I thought.
case, it's very possible that because I'm looking at them and I don't see them planning on coming down at this point. They're probably more on a spiritual level, unless they come down separately to you. I do see a boy coming down to you next. And if it's with your husband or not, I'm not sure, but it may have been a fact that your husband has issues to work on him, on
On the baby.
himself,
Yes.
before they can come down, because the lessons that he will teach them right now are not the lessons they're supposed to learn. And so
Mm-hmm.
that means that he needs to figure out how to get himself straight and find his own happiness, because if they come down right now, they're going to be learning lessons they're not supposed to learn. It's not their
Yes.
contract. So God, I hope it all comes to, that it comes to a clarification for you, and that
Yes.
you know what, he's a grown man, so he's got to figure out how to fix things. So
Yeah.
I hope that helps.
Yes, a
Gives you a
lot.
little
Thank you
insight
so
and hope
much.
for the future.
Yeah, I have a lot of questions right now and I have a lot of doubts, but I don't know.
I bet you, I know, and I don't have time to do
I
of
know, I
what you need
understand.
right now. I know what you need. I know what you need. I
Mm-hmm.
do, and I don't have time to do it right now. But I know we got how many people on here right now that are going to send you some help and some love and some prayers. And we're going to send it to Angie.
Yes. Thank you. Thank
You're
you so much.
welcome.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Angie,
Take
for
care.
watching and joining us.
Thank
You
you.
take care.
Likewise. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.
That was awesome. All right. So what is this? Okay. You guys. All right. So time is up. It's so crazy. I was just having so much fun talking. I really just need to get on and do a gallery. So I'm probably just going to do a non-talking gallery. What's this week? This week is tough because kids are home from school. I'm on spring break. So it's really difficult to be able to get on and actually do this. So what's next week? Next week, I'm going to pull up my camera here, my calendar. So next week, I can probably, Monday's out, Tuesday's out, Wednesday's out. But Thursday, the 24th, I'm probably, during the day, I can probably get on and do a gallery. So if I get on and do a live gallery, it'll be for a couple of hours, probably on the 24th, because I know my reading schedule is crazy bonkers next week. So, bam. Probably the 24th. We will see. We'll see what happens, how my schedule looks. Thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. Again, here at Paranormal PhD on Monday nights, you can catch me. Well, it might be switching to days. Again, during the day, it's very possible. But on spiritrealm.net, I will update all of you guys on that. As it stands right now, it is Monday evenings at 9 Eastern, and I do medically intuitive readings for mental and physical well-being and health. And that's for an hour. And then, of course, on Tuesday. So next Tuesday, we are going to be talking about children and their ability to read and visions. So if you've got kids, that sort of thing, bring them on. I may even get my daughter on here with me. I don't know. I may have her read a people or two. All right. So you guys, God bless and take care. Thank you so much for joining me. And I will be talking to you later. Goodbye, guys. Take care. Good night. Bye.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready, folks.
I sure am. Are you ready?
I sure am.
Super excited.